now.
It's going to cause a lot of unnecessary panic.
Sex offenders at school. Could your child be at risk as ballots are being cast?
Oh, I have no fear whatsoever of the truth. I have no fear of facts as they are.
A CBS 6 News exclusive. I speak to Albany's bishop as the local Catholic Church faces a state investigation.
Pizza shop robbery. A local Domino's held up at gunpoint.
People come before profit. People come before profit.
A pharmacy protest rages on, demanding that a Rite Aid stay open to serve a community in need.
Florence getting a lot of attention these days, but it's what's left of Gordon that will affect us when we see the rain coming up.
But first, all new tonight, sex offenders allowed in schools. It's happening here under a special pardon from Governor Cuomo that grants voting rights to parolees.
Thousands could be heading to the polls on primary day next Thursday. And CBS 6's Emily DeFisciani spoke with local law enforcement about the executive order. And she joins us live now at a Shenendehowa Elementary School. And Emily, the school is going to be a polling location next week.
Yeah, that's right, Liz and JT, but school officials say for safety purposes, the polls here at Chango are always placed inside the gym. Voters enter through these outside doors, and the rest of the school building is completely closed off. Now, parolees will only be allowed on school grounds after 7 p.m., but still, many say they're worried about dangerous offenders coming too close to what's supposed to be a safe zone for children.
I'm sure as a result of this broadcast, it's going to, spark some interest. Like, wait a minute, how did this happen?
Albany County Sheriff Craig Apple says he believes an executive order from Governor Cuomo will be causing a lot of unnecessary panic at the polls next week. The order grants thousands of sex offenders on parole the right to vote. A dangerous decision, critics say, considering many polling locations are inside schools.
I think by allowing that, just puts a temptation out there that should be avoided.
According to docs, parolees may only enter school grounds after 7 p.m. and must get written permission from both their parole officer and the school superintendent in order to vote. Cuomo's order states that they are members of society who work, pay taxes, and support their families and should be permitted to vote. Sheriff Apple says he agrees.
I think they should be allowed to vote. Absolutely. I think everybody should be allowed to vote.
But he says they should be able to vote from home by absentee ballot. However, sex offenders do not meet the qualifications to vote by absentee ballot, some of which include being absent from your county on election day, being unable to make it to the polls due to temporary or permanent illness or disability, or being detained in jail awaiting grand jury action or confined in prison after conviction for an offense other than a felony. Sheriff Apple says he's encouraging voters to utilize the state sex offender registry prior to primary day and learn the faces of offenders in their area.
It's all public information, and if they call us, we'll make sure that they are aware of who's in that community.
Now, the Saratoga County District Attorney Karen Hagan released a statement on the executive order saying it's, quote, a dangerous decision by Governor Cuomo without any regard for the safety of the citizens of our communities, both young and old. The governor's timing and motives are transparently political. Now, the DA says sex offenders by law are not permitted on school grounds at any time and that her office will be on standby, ready to prosecute. For now, we're live in Saratoga County. I'm Emily DeFisciani, CBS 6 News.
Thanks, Emily. Only on 6 tonight, my exclusive interview with Bishop Edward Scharfenberger of the Albany Roman Catholic Diocese, just one day after he made headlines by offering to turn over all documentation dealing with past clergy sexual abuse allegations to the Albany County District Attorney. Now, the bishop told me that he made the offer hours before receiving a subpoena from the state attorney general, who's looking into how the 8 dioceses in the state handled allegations of sex abuse. And that led me to a public statement that he made 3 years ago.
In 2015, you pledged in a, and I've actually got it with me, the Evangelist, in a column, that no clergy member who has been credibly accused of sexual abuse of a minor is currently in ministry in our diocese.
Correct. Best to my knowledge, that is the case.
And you still feel certain that that is so?
I'm certain that that's my pledge. I can't be certain that that's the fact. I'm not God. I don't know. Tell me if you see somebody that is now currently ministering that should not be. and I will act on it immediately.
What, though, does an investigation like this do to erode any confidence? Does this completely change the dynamics for the people who have turned to the Catholic Church as their spiritual home?
There's no question that many people are confused, are angry, are looking for guidance, are looking for evidence of trust. No question about that. How could it not? I can't I can't quantify that. All I can do is to do whatever I can to be constructive, to try to restore trust in any way I possibly can.
I asked the bishop what message his opening the books to the DA sends to a victim of pre-sex abuse. And he said his hope was that it lets them know he's open to hearing them, that they're loved and affirmed, and that he's there for them. You can find many more clips from my interview on our website, cbs6albany.com.
All new tonight, the Ticonderoga teen accused of killing his friend has been indicted in the murder. This according to a report in the Post-Star. The report says 16-year-old Adrian Sawyer has been indicted on murder and arson charges in the July death of 15-year-old Maverick Bowman in Putnam. Washington County District Attorney Tony Jordan says Sawyer tried to burn down the house where the stabbing happened. Investigators say the two were classmates at Ticonderoga High School. After the murder, a family friend told CBS 6 the two teens were friends and they were fighting over a girl. Right now, Pittsfield police are investigating an armed robbery at the Domino's on Elm Street. Officers releasing these surveillance pictures showing a hooded man holding a gun. Police say this happened at around 11 o'clock last night. The suspect is described as a black man in his teens or early 20s, around 6'3", 180 pounds, with a slim build and a deep voice. Police say the suspect ran southbound on Hazelwood Terrace after the robbery. Anyone with information is asked to contact police.
Right now, campus police at UAlbany are investigating a sexual assault that was reported overnight. Officers say they've spoken to all parties involved and that they're confident there's no ongoing danger to the campus community. So far, no arrests have been made. And developing now, Troy residents fearful tonight after an outbreak of violence this week. Police are investigating 2 shootings and a stabbing, both occurring in the last 2 days. But what might be most concerning is when these crimes are happening.
These things are happening now. They used to happen at 3 in the morning. Now they're happening at 6 at night. So, we're concerned about it.
Tonight, 3 victims are still recovering from 2 shootings Wednesday night, just hours apart. Police say the investigation is still very active. So far, no arrests have been made. And just last night, an armed robbery and that stabbing. The victim still recovering after police say he was attacked by 2 or 3 men. Police say this, too, is still an active investigation.
Well, tonight is Eric Hawkins' first official night as Albany's police chief. He began working earlier this week, but was officially sworn in today. Hawkins says he plans to put a strong focus on community policing.
It's working with the community in order to identify issues, identify social ills, in developing strategies so that we can prevent those issues from becoming law enforcement incidents.
2 community members from Southfield, Michigan drove more than 10 hours to surprise the chief. They took his Citizens Academy program during Hawkins' tenure as Southfield's police chief. They tell us they'll miss him in their city, calling him the total package when it comes to connecting with the community. All new tonight, protesters back in force for a second time, demanding Walgreens hear their calls to keep the Rite Aid in Albany's South End open for business.
These people down here, a lot of them are disabilities, blind people, handicapped people. This is the only store they can get to. And if they close this, where are these poor people going to go?
Community members tell us the Rite Aid on South Pearl Street is where they go for essentials and medication. Walgreens owns Rite Aid, and the company says the Holland Avenue store where today's protest was held is in a better location, and it's less than a mile away from the Rite Aid they're closing. The store's last day of business will be September 19th.
Road rage, petty larceny, and drug charges all factoring into tonight's Perp Patrol. See if you can help local police agencies resolve some of their outstanding warrants. We're in a holding pattern this week with no new captures or surrenders, so we stay at 828 cases closed since the Perp Patrol first hit the air. Let's see if you can help local police agencies with these cases. Colony police are looking for Richard Pastulka III. He's wanted for a road rage incident in Latham where they say he punched another man in the face through a car window and then shattered the window as his victim was closing it. He's 6'2", 240, last known living in Ballston Spa. You can reach Colony detectives at 518-783-2754. Glenville police want your help locating 24-year-old Jessica Brody. They say she was involved with stealing merchandise at the Glenville Walmart. She's got a tattoo on her right arm that says faith, respect, trust, and was last known living on State Street in Schenectady. You can reach Glenville detectives at 518-384-0135. And Albany police are trying to track down 21-year-old Shatik Chambers on misdemeanor drug charges. He's 5'7", 140 and likes to hang out in Albany. You can reach Albany detectives at 518-462-8039. And you can check out those mugshots again in the Perp Patrol gallery, which is on our website, cbs6albany.com. Hopefully, with your help, I'll have some more captures and surrenders next week.
New surveillance video inside the Cincinnati bank where police say Omar Enrique Santa Perez opened fire yesterday, shooting 5 people and killing 3. We're also getting our first look at police body cam video, which shows the moments before police took the gunman down.
On your shoulder.
Police say there's no clear reason tonight why Perez opened fire in that building. Investigators have reportedly learned Perez had mental health issues. A memorial for those killed was held today. One of the surviving victims is in critical condition, the other in serious condition tonight.
Some tough video there. New tonight, tens of thousands of low-level marijuana convictions in Brooklyn could be erased. The borough's DA has already stopped prosecuting most misdemeanor pot possession and smoking cases, but now DA Eric Gonzalez is inviting people to ask the courts to dismiss pot possession misdemeanors or violations in past cases. He expects that prosecutors will waive the conviction in the majority of the 20,000 cases since 1990. Gonzalez says it's unfair for people to carry convictions in cases that his office no longer prosecutes.
Well, a bold new step toward tackling the opioid epidemic.
Find out why some cities are considering sanctioning injection sites.